And she approves of you too. It's a mutual admiration society. Yeah, I don't have one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did I get one and you didn't?
I got one, but I lost it.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna get all of them? I just need one. Oh, yeah, you fancy one?
Is it gonna be quiet if I sit here?
Maybe if you.
I'm watching and I'm listening.
And when the service or the bell starts, what do you need to do with that stuff?
Remember, kids, one of the cameras that picks up everything on YouTube is on the other side of this pillar. And so, if you misbehave, everyone on the internet knows. Fair enough.
And that's true of everybody. I mean, it picks up even when I'm saying
I've considered
Hi Morgan, good to see you.
I'm going to try to
If you can't force it, or if you would make your own how about you use it today? It's very
Oh my God.
You're gonna use that. Is this your first time?
I want to have Are you doing Alameda?
no.
That's good. Our mommy's fancy.
Good.
Very
No.
It's hard.
Can you make it small? It's not small. It's small.
Wait, you have space to put your feet up.
Performance.
Okay.
But it bothered me because it that's brilliant. Namanda, 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 namanda.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And ohayou gozaimasu. Welcome to today's family service. My name is Brian Piper, and I will be your chairperson today. And I also have the distinct honor of pressing play on the CD player when it is time for our gathas. We'll begin this morning's service with the Sambujo on pages 24 and 25. Sutra chanting today will be the Jusege on page 93.
意志無常の時間不満足政府上昇が我を無量後不意内世主不採証明具政府上昇が我史上分の妙所長実法不興味所門政府上昇が利用人少年上映主文行死無無常道一生天人死人力現代法不詳無才能少女三苦病交際修薬難会知恵言滅死根本難閉塞小悪道通断善修門高僧上満足利用老実法日月修十期健康不言一種解放像公正苦毒法情報大集中説法四四苦不要一切物空足修特本願礼出上満特異三概要如仏無下地通達未不詳願学営利投資最小損悲願や効果大聖の感動国書天に当知妙見
Please stand for the Gatha Namo Amida Butsu. on page 174, and remain standing for the reading of the Three Treasures 1 on page 8, and Rai San Mon on page 6.
Three Treasures, page 8. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves into the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be free from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony, in the spirit of universal oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teachings. Rai San Mon, page 6. Ninjin ukegatashi imasure ni uku, buppo kitigatashi imasure ni kiku. Kono nikonjo ni mukatte dosuzun wa, sarani izure no shou ni mukatte kako no mi o dosen. Daishu moro tomo ni shishin ni sambo ni kieshi tatematsuru beshi. Mizukara butsu ni kieshi tatematsuru. まさに願わくば至上とともに大道を体現して無常よ起こさん。自ら法に消えし立てまつる。まさに願わくば至上とともに深く共造に入りて知恵海のごとくならん。自らそうに消えし立てまつる。 まさに願わくば至上とともに大衆を通りして一切無限ならん。無常人人未明の方は百千万号にも愛をことかたし、我今検問し従事することを得たり、願わくば如来の真実義を消し立てますらん。 南無阿弥陀仏。南無阿弥陀仏。南無阿弥陀仏。Please be seated.
And now Reverend Fujimoto will be sharing a Dharma message with us.
Good morning again, everyone. Ohayou gozaimasu. There's a quote that you hear often at the temple saying, only the Nembutsu is true and real. So today I wanted to talk about what's true and real and rose-colored glasses. I think we always like to find something true and real in our own lives. We want to live a life that is true to ourselves, true to our values. We want to live an authentic and real life. And these are admirable goals, but Shin Buddhism points out that usually these kinds of goals are self-centered. It comes from our ego self and not really, truly true and real. So in Shin Buddhism, we are awakened to an awareness of this realm beyond the self. And in that realm beyond the self is what is true and real. Please join me in Gassho. Say the name of the Tathagata of unhindered light. Saying the name breaks through all the ignorance of sentient beings and readily brings all their aspirations to fulfillment. Saying the name is in itself mindfulness. Mindfulness is Nembutsu. Nembutsu is Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So this is a quote from Shindan Shonin. And he says, saying the name breaks through our ignorance, our self-centered ignorance, okay? And breaking through our ego consciousness to connect to Amida, to everything else. So I have a couple of stories. There was a time when I was maybe 8 or 9 years old, and we lived in Penryn, a small town on the way to Reno. So there's a placer Buddhist church up there, and my father was the minister there in Penryn. So the kids, we usually play, there's a dirt lot in front of the temple and the social hall, and we play out there, you know, when there's before church or on the weekdays, and we'd run around playing football or baseball or whatever, just running around playing tag or something. And my father would go from the house to the temple, just doing his work, ministerial work over there. So I remember one time he called us over. We were maybe taking a break and sitting on the steps of the temple, and he sat with us and he just talking about things going on, and he starts talking about Buddhism just a little bit. And now that I think of it, I thought, wow, that's kind of nice that he sat with us talking about Buddhism, right? A bunch of little kids, and thinking back further, probably of those handful of kids, none of them come to the temple regularly. So they didn't get the message. But I remember his words, you know, and he used the phrase rose-colored glasses. And he's talking about how people look at the world through their self-centered perspective. So everyone looks at the world through their rose-colored glasses. And that's the first time I had heard that phrase. And so it kind of stayed with me, you know. And when someone else says it, or maybe I read it somewhere, then I notice it all the more. So the human perspective is always limited, always self-centered. And this is what he's mentioning as rose-colored glasses. So in thinking about that, there was a Nishiyama sensei in Hawaii, and he had a story about his trip to going to India. Here at our temple, we have a lot of people, a number of people are missing today because they are on their world travels, going here and there, Jane has been everywhere, pretty much everywhere in the world. And so she's one of our travelers that go from this temple. So thinking of them and thinking of Reverend Nishiyama's story, I remember he was looking forward to this, he felt once in a lifetime trip to India, the birthplace of the historical Buddha. And so he was really looking forward to it, like a trip of a lifetime, that he was so excited. So when the day came to actually go to the airport, he could hardly stand the excitement, like a little kid. So a long flight, he's in Hawaii, flight from Hawaii to Osaka, finally to the Delhi International Airport. So when he got there was a tour guide for his group, a gentleman named Mr. Alora, okay? And he's a Sikh member, and he spoke a little bit of Japanese, so he was the tour guide for this group. So they checked in, went to the hotel and checked in, and when he entered the room, he found that the light didn't go on. He noticed the light didn't go on, so he called the front desk. Hello, my room is 515. I have a problem. The light is not working. Could you send someone up to check the light? And that clerk replied, no problem, no problem. And someone came to check the light and repair that. And the worker, as he was there, he's working and bringing out his ladder, and he's saying, no problem, no problem. And he took care of the light. Okay. So the next morning, Sensei went to the dining room to pour coffee for his breakfast, and the coffee pot was empty. And so he asked the waiter, can you bring me some coffee? So no problem, no problem. Okay, then so he brought him a pot of coffee, and he was wondering, how come everyone there, all the Indians there, kept repeating, no problem. Anytime there's a request or a complaint, something going on, they kept saying, he could hear each of their voices, no problem. Okay. So they checked out of that hotel and went to the airport again to proceed, and going to go to Bodh Gaya, the place where the Buddha was enlightened. Okay, so they went at the airport before boarding. He asked Mr. Alora, do you know why the staff at the hotel always repeats, no problem, whenever I ask something? And he smiled and said, Reverend Nishiyama, the answer to your question is very easy. We Indians are used to having no lights because there's often blackouts. And we drink tea or chai instead of coffee. We have no problem with no lights, no hot shower, no hot coffee. But you have a problem because you and other visitors always expect to have everything just like you have in your own country, whether you come from America or Japan. So when the people on the staff say no problem, it means the problem is not their problem. You're the only one having a problem. You're expecting to get everything, anytime, anywhere. Reverend Nishiyama, you are now in India, not your country. So then he realized how selfishly he was asking for all these favors, expecting to have everything done and taken care of. His own comfort level, that he just had automatically expecting this. So he thought that was very interesting to hear this perspective and to get his own self-awareness of how it sounded to others. So a day later, they checked into the hotel in Gaya, and at the hotel he's going to dinner. And he said, now I can tell you, the shower was not hot. At the dinner, the rice was cold. But I did not call the front desk. I didn't bother the waiter. I kept repeating in my mind, no problem, no problem. Everything is acceptable. So Reverend Nishiyama's trip, his dream of a lifetime trip, at first was ruined by his own expectations, his needs, his desires to have something a certain way, and looking at things through rose-colored glasses. But once he was able to see a different way, and it kind of opened him up to see things in a different way. So kind of similar as another story. One of my favorite ministers was a Reverend Tetsu Uno, and he used to give lectures and things, and being a young college student, I would go and listen to his talks, and one of my favorite talks that he had is talking about when he went to give a lecture. They're at a hotel conference room, and so he peeked in to where he was going to give his lecture. And he says in his talk, the room was perfect until I arrived. So he peeked into the room, it's a nice lecture room, carpeted floor, chandelier lights, a table with some snacks, and a little podium on the table with his microphone like this, bottle of water for him. So he goes in the room and he looks around, and there's a platter of donuts neatly cut in half. And he notices that. Donuts. There's no maple bars. Don't they know my favorite donut is maple bar? And he's like, no, I don't want sugar donuts. I don't want glazed maple bars. And he's looking around. They're probably from the supermarket. And he's looking, microphones attached to the stand. Not this kind of microphone. Why can't they have a lapel mic so I could move around? Now I got to stand like this and do my whole talk. And he's kind of going on and on. He notices the water bottle there. Safeway brand. Why can't they have a nice brand for me? And it goes on, right? Every little thing, he finds a little complaint. Maybe he wanted Perrier or Mountain Spring Water or something, right? Not Safeway. So it goes on and on. His rose-colored glasses, the way he sees things, and again, he's unable to see what is true and real, right? So finally, he kind of snaps out of it. It's time for his lecture, and he's able to provide his very nice talk that he usually does. But I think time in it, again, we see these kind of examples. We do these kind of examples, seeing things from our perspective, expecting things a certain way, and then maybe it doesn't come to be. So when they say, only the Nembutsu is true and real, it says this perspective that is not our own is true and real. And our own perspective is always through these rose-colored glasses, Shin Buddhism, the Nembutsu teachings, and is guiding us to see, to look beyond ourselves, beyond our ego self, and to see things from the Amida perspective, the other perspective. So please join me in Gassho, and we'll conclude this Dharma message. Say the name of the Tathagata of unhindered light. Saying the name breaks through all the ignorance of sentient beings and readily brings all their aspirations to fulfillment. Saying the name is in self mindfulness. Mindfulness is Nembutsu. Nembutsu is Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Thank you very much.
You would please stand for the Gatha on Dokusan number 2 on page 220. Please be seated. Yes, everyone's anticipating me. I want to thank everyone who helped with the altar preparations and for the service today. Of course, want to thank Reverend Dennis for the YouTube setup, Lenny for making a recording of the music, all of that wonderful stuff. Thank you very much. And the newcomers today, I know in some ways there's a great deal, but in some ways less so. Would you stand up and introduce yourself?
Yes.
So, my name's Kenny.
Welcome.
I live in Alameda.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. I know announcement-wise, there's a documentary at Rhythmix Cultural Works later today, and there might very well be tickets if you're still interested in seeing it. But I think if Jane or Reverend D want to provide more details, I invite you to do so.
Thank you. Yeah, we're looking forward to having the film Carving the Divine at Rhythmix Cultural Works, and in preparation to have the film shown there, a lot had to happen, and Bishop Harada had been able to see this film and suggested to the BC Art Committee, of which I am part of that, maybe it'd be nice to show in Northern California, to show this documentary. And the film itself is about the relationship, master-disciple relationship of the artisans, craftsmen who learn the craft of carving Buddhas and Bodhisattvas out of wood, and a whole lifetime dedicated to learning their craft, and the seniors who are able to take them in and to teach them. And it's severe, very, very strict lifetime endeavor for them to learn and to become competent enough to do this type of artwork. So to have this here and to come to know the staff at Rhythmix, that was also something. They've been here showing different things in Alameda for a long time, but I wasn't familiar with Rhythmix, and to come to know their staff and develop this friendship, partnership to put this film together has been very, very rewarding. So I'm very happy to have this connection with Buddhist Temple of Alameda and Rhythmix, and they have this film showing. And at the end of the film, Yujiro Seki, the filmmaker, is going to join us through Zoom from Japan for kind of a question-answer period. So as you watch the film, think of things that you might want to ask him, and we'll have this opportunity. He's very happy. He wants to have as many people see the film as possible. And if we could have some questions. I was wondering, maybe I should plant questions in advance, but I think you can respond. Once you see the film, you'll have some questions that come to mind, but please don't hesitate to do so. Then at the same time, same day, for a month, we've had Colors of the Infinite downstairs. They have an art gallery space, and we have 5 Bay Area artists who have participated in the BCA virtual art exhibit. And through that, I was able to know and meet them and invited them to have a live show there also at Rhythmix. And so most of the artists will be there today and some of their friends. So it's a nice time to come and see their artwork and to meet the artists that are there. So this will be following the film. Okay, so the film tickets are still available, and you purchase them through Rhythmix. Okay, you can go to the door and purchase them. The closing reception downstairs is no charge to the public. Okay, so you can come if you want to just see the artwork hanging. 4:30 is the closing reception. Okay. Any questions about what's going to happen next? Yes.
Can we go between 12 and 2 before the show, the movie? See the artwork?
That, I don't know. They might be setting things up there, so I'm not sure how the staff is preparing for that. So you might call them and ask them, but yeah, I'm not familiar. Okay. We're a little bit early. I should have chanted something twice as long. Yeah. Okay, but thank you. Looking forward to having the day with most of you. Any other thoughts?
When you go, why don't you call me and I can let people here know if they can go early over there to the art gallery? Because you're going over early, aren't you?
Okay, we could do that. I think it'd be nicer to be able to support the artists that are going to come at 4:30.
We
So,
want people to come to the reception afterwards so they can meet the artist.
okay. There's a phone number floating out there. So, any one of us, it doesn't have to be me, any one of us can call them and find this out. So, let's see who does that. Thank you.
All right, I think that's about it. The one thing I will say about Carving the Divine is I happened to catch some of the accompanying material the filmmaker made a couple of years ago that's on like YouTube and some of the podcast services, and I found it really enjoyable. So if you aren't going, I think I'm really excited about this, and I think you should change your mind. All right, thank you so much for attending this morning's service. Please come forward to offer incense and Oshoko.
Sarah was a little bit better in temple circles today, so I think there's some real sweet. Caitlin. Here and here, wherever he said. One hand.
Yeah. You know, I'm afraid if you
That's a
don't,
lot.
it might segue, it might just, the next song might start. Yeah, so I don't know that, but it's so very fun to start. Can you just show me really briefly? Just start, where is it? So, it's down in that
But yeah, and then you just click through and play.
So the play button and then stop. Okay, so that's what, once I get it on, I can, but how do I, it's not the right job that I want, is there a plus?
This is the
So
track.
each one is a track.